my favorite, y'all. It's NBA analyst. He just the man's man, just the dude's dude, just the one and only Stephen Jackson. But, Sal, you up first. Should Dillon Brooks have been suspended?
Yep. He should have been suspended. Only one game, too, huh? Lucky. Because if I were the commissioner, it would have been.
What you would have done?
More than one game. I'm going to tell you why. When you talk about punishment, three things come to mind in terms of making that punishment, what the consequences should be. Your action, your intent, and what was the outcome. Let's start with the action. You whack this dude across his head while he's in the air, 8-10 feet up in the air, you whack him across the head. That action alone makes me want to suspend you. But I'm going to also take into account what was your intent with that action. Maybe you didn't mean to do it. Oh, yeah, you meant to do it because this is a guy who's known in Gary Payton II of banging on people and getting his dunk on and energizing his team and trying to get things started. So I think your intention wasn't good. I think you had a malintention while you were whacking him across the head mid-air. Now, what was the outcome? A fractured elbow that comes 3 to 5 weeks, you're out, young player, trying to find his way, finally found his way, found a home. You whacking him across the head mid-air? Oh, we got a problem. Because in basketball, there's no reason for you to wind up with the windmill while someone is airborne to say, I was just trying to block his shot. And then to miss so egregiously to get him in the head when he already has a reputation that precedes him that I will bang on you. And you got a reputation now that you don't want to get banged on. And more importantly, you want to set the tone or reset the tone from game one with Draymond Green. All of that leading to an outcome of fractured elbow? Oh, yeah, you got suspended. Lucky I ain't the commish. It would have been longer.
I got to disagree with you, Sal. Okay. And the reason is, Stat, what I hate is how we punish based off outcome. Sal, I'm going to give you one of your three. I'm going to give you intent.
Okay.
I give you 1.5 of your three. I'm going to give you half of the action because that matters as well. But I hate judging off outcome because how dare we dictate a punishment based off what happened as opposed to what we intended to happen? If I shoot you with the intent to kill you, but I don't, I'm going to get punished less severely than if I don't intend to kill you, but I do. Somebody got to make that make sense. Or I'm going to get punished less severely than if I intend to kill you. And No. We have to punish based off intent. So when I think about Draymond Green getting ejected for his same flagrant 2, he wasn't making a basketball move. He wasn't making a basketball play. Was Dillon Brooks' foul much more egregious? Absolutely, than Draymond Green's. But what I remember, and Stack, I cannot wait to hear your opinion. What I remember is this. Draymond Green set the tempo early on. If Draymond Green fouls Clark and Clark ends up hurt with a concussion, all of a sudden Draymond Green should get suspended because of the outcome as opposed to the intent? No. Both were not basketball plays. Both were intended to set a tone of some sort. Dillon Brooks said, hey, don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Draymond started it. Dillon Brooks escalated it. But I hate that we punish based off of outcome. We got to start punishing based off intent, y'all. And that is why I don't necessarily agree with a suspension here when Draymond didn't get suspended. If you want to suspend both, it's all money for me. But to do one and not the other, I'm not with it.
I kind of agree with you, but the fine line is Draymond was in the play. Dillon Brooks wasn't even in the play. And we have to understand the difference between a hustle play and just a dirty play. A hustle play is hustling back, slapping down at the ball, just trying to make it difficult from the guy without making contact. And maybe you'll get your hand on the ball and knock it off his leg. That's a hustle play. But you're just being completely out the play, Acho, and hustling down, knowing you can't affect the play and just swinging wild, not even just knowing you're not even affecting the play. That was the dirtiest play that you can do. Draymond was actually in the play. He tried to make a hard foul, but he tried to make a playoff foul, but he connected with the guy's face. So I understand the suspension on that side. But Dillon Brooks, you wasn't even in the play. There wasn't a hustle play. That was a clear-out dirty play. And the reason to make it clear how it was a dirty play, when you do stuff like that and somebody gets a fracture or gets hurt, that lets you know that you had no intent on making a basketball play in that instant.
Yeah, I'm with you, Stacks. I'm with you, man. Like, he got to get suspended. And the reason I layered what I said, three things, because they are separate and they're not equal, but they all count. in terms of what you got to look at when you talk about this punishment. We didn't start and say, well, outcome is going to be the largest determinant. No, we didn't say action. We didn't say intent. We said they all are part of this conversation that's going to lead to this suspension. And it's impossible to gauge someone's intent, like fully, purely to know their intent, but they still tried to. They gave him a flagrant 2 in a moment. They say, look, that just looked dirty. Whether you meant it or not, that just looks dirty. So we can't go fully down the lane of just intention, because sometimes things look different than you intended them to look. That said, this dude right here, I don't see what he was thinking other than non-basketball things to go into a play like you said, Stack. And then to do that while you enter a play when you could have just gave up the 2 points and kept it pushing down on the other end. So I'm looking at him like, when you whack somebody across the head, we already thinking you're dirty. Then you cock back to whack him across the head. We're like, what else could that be? And then the outcome is his elbow is fractured. Acho gave a good example, but it's not fully analogous to this. Because if you shoot someone, regardless of outcome, I know this, that is assault at minimum with a deadly weapon. Like, you can shoot somebody in the leg, you be like, oh, I shot him in the leg, I wasn't trying to kill him. People die from getting shot in the leg, y'all. So as soon as you shoot, you're already in a different conversation. We're not talking about this. What we're talking about is what we saw him, you just tried to push him, but that push led to something severe. Oh, yeah, that's going to be considered when it's time to talk about the consequences.
Then that's what I got a problem with, though. Stack, Sell, we got to think about this for real. Draymond Green's play was not clean. Draymond Green's play was dirty. We can all acknowledge and admit that. Dillon Brooks' play was not clean. Dillon Brooks' play was dirty. We can all acknowledge and admit that. So now what? We are trying to measure the line of dirtiness? Well, he was dirtier than he was. Come on, Stat. That's what I'm not with. It's like, bruh, if they were both dirty plays, if they were both non-basketball plays, if they were both intended to send a message, because Draymond Green's foul was not intended to just stop Clark. It was intended to send a message. Dillon Brooks intended to send a message. If they were both intended to send a message, I just don't truly see how we can not punish one to the same degree that we punish the other. Now, I'm not an idiot. I see with my eyes. Dillon Brooks' foul was much more egregious.
There it is.
Once again, Sel, if two people start fighting in a bar, cops not going to show up and be like, well, you was really fighting and you was just fake fighting, so I'm only going to punish the one that was. No. Both people was fighting. Let's punish both people accordingly. Because, Sel, I'll stop it like this.
I don't know about that. I saw a video recently.
When two people tussle, you gonna get mad at the one who wins the fight. If I punch you and do no damage, but you punch me and you knock me out, how dare they only punish you for knocking me out? That is the problem. I tried to do damage, I just couldn't and I just didn't. So that's where I have a rift with what you're saying. I just hate when we see people get into it, but the person who actually executed what the person was trying to execute gets punished more severely.
Yeah, and both of y'all kind of right, but I look at it as being in the play and being out the play, right? Draymond was right there. He tried to slap down and cut the guy's face and tried to make a hard foul. That's one thing. But if you're totally out the play, Acho, and you running full speed at a guy, knowing he in front of you and knowing 9 out of 10 times it's going to be a collision where somebody falls hard, it's a fine line there. And Dillon Brooks knew what he was doing when he cocked back. Draymond was trying to make a hard foul. Obviously, came across the guy's face. I'm not making excuses for him.
Let me ask you this,
when
Stat.
you running halfway across the court with your arm cocked back, you know what you're trying to do.
Stack, let me ask you this, big dog.
Facts.
Do you not think that Draymond also knew what he was trying to do? I just think Draymond's a better actor. Y'all remember the playoffs 2 years ago. Y'all got to remind me which Morris twin it was, the one that played for the Clippers, when his foot was under Luka's foot. And Morris tried to play it off like, yo, it was just an accident. It was just an accident. And we all like, wait a second. You've been in the league how long? You how athletic? And your foot just accidentally ends up under his foot? Marcus Morris, your foot just, no, we ain't that stupid. I just think, Stack, Draymond is a greater actor. Now, if we want to applaud Draymond for being a greater actor, I'll give you that. Sel, if you want to punish Dillon Brooks excessively because he has to pay the stupid tax, okay. I can give you that one. But what I'm not going to sit here and do is get bamboozled because Draymond want to pull him down by the jersey and then last second Stack act like he really holding him up. Stack, you played too long for that. Sale, you played too long for that. And I'm just too smart to let that one go by.
Well, look, where I'm from, my experience shows me that Draymond is not a better actor so much. It wasn't like he was a greater actor, as you say. It's the fact that he was in the act of playing basketball. Well, Dillon Brooks wasn't in the act of playing basketball. He was out there saying, oh, let me interrupt, let me undermine, let me try and send a message outside the act of basketball. I don't even play basketball. I played 1 year of organized basketball, and I was like, that ain't for me. But I do know if I go get my run on at the gym, if somebody jumping up for a layup or a dunk, off limits. Everybody knows that. And then you certainly know you don't come in cocking back, talking about, oh, I'm about to save this layup. That's not what's happening. Draymond's play was more bang, bang, swipe. Oh, got your jersey. It is what it is. Let me tell you something that's crazy, because I like your logic, Acho, but whether you hate it or love it, this is the reality.
That's true. I know that.
Let's talk about this. We all saw Dave Chappelle get attacked. You know, I was there. Matt Barnes was there. Shout out to Matt Barnes. Stacks, you know. And you know what's crazy? Now they're interviewing the dude and they're interviewing his family. And the craziest thing is this dude ran on stage, attacked Dave Chappelle, knocked him down, got himself beat up, and now is lawyering up. And you know what the next step is without him even saying it. Oh, they use excessive force in trying to reprimand me and trying to take me into custody. Now, Acho, all you're saying is logically you hate that. Me too. But that's how it goes. And in this situation, logically, you can't put yourself in that position and then act like, oh, I didn't mean it. The NBA saw through that. The NBA said, we got to suspend you, big dog, because the last thing we want is somebody else outside of the act of basketball thinking it's cool to come in and clothesline a dude. Stick around. We got Stacks for now, and we're going to switch gears right now and talk a little bit about the exciting week 3 that we saw in the USFL. Yeah.